Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. So happy to be here today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's been kind of a while since our last stream, but I just want to jump right into it. Of course, we have been working very hard on the Polarity machine learning beta. Thank you guys so much for giving us the feedback that is so necessary for us to release this software in a universally usable state. So thank you guys for that. That's why I haven't been streaming. It's just been a very, very busy 2 weeks from this. And I really, really want to give you guys a very, very strong product. But going into trading here, it looks like we got filled long. We were in regression mode due to those automatically marked support and resistance lines, and we chose regression mode for that. We almost got filled here, and now we're, okay, there we go. There's our first fill of the day, giving us 354.10 on the day. So happy with that so far. I'm just going to be keeping it in regression mode at this moment with the arm both button enabled. Also, guys, we do have that Q&A if you want to submit some questions. I will be answering them live as we go along, as long as there's not too much happening in the markets. But thanks for that, guys. We have a question from Hemostat saying, can you please provide videos on setting up the PolarityATI machine learning module? So that was Bearlick, not Hemostat. Yes, absolutely. Right now we have the installation video. We have some included documentation. It's not in the format of a video at the point in terms of the full documentation, but that will be released once we have the full release going on, once it leaves the beta test. Hope that makes sense. But we do have that installation video ready for you guys. Hold on, guys, I just gotta bring up my executions tab here. Keep forgetting to keep that up, but looks like we got filled into a short position there. Very nice to see that, and we got filled pretty quickly there. But yeah, just to show you guys, I'm not using an overlay to show my account there. You can see back and forth there. Definitely not possible to do that with an overlay. Also, same thing over here, just going to be clicking around there. Anyway, guys, just back into the trading. Of course, we are going to keep it in regression at this point. We do have this range, of course, marked by the red and the green lines. We do have that automatic heuristic parameter. Oh man, that's a spelling error there. Parameter optimization on. Sorry about that, guys. I hope that was not in the R5C release. But I will definitely be fixing that after the stream. Of course, that is the quirks of having a beta release. I have the R5D enabled right now. R5C is the one that sent out to you guys. Of course, in the last stream, I was using the one that you guys had now. So it's not any functional difference, just has a little bit more of a output debugging so I can see what's going on internally. But of course, the entry and exit logic is the same. Christian at Top Martin says, I've been trying out the new version, but now I cannot see that it changes the imbalance volume nor the ratio while running. So Christian, I totally hear you. I think that this is an error on R5B. R5C, which we did just push, it should fix this for everyone. You should be able to add any indicator you want now, and it'll successfully optimize based off of those indicators. Just Right Mindset says, hey, for some reason, I don't get the same fills as you. That's just going to be because I'm using the machine learning model, and you got to train your model or use my model to get those fills. What are your current ATM settings for NQ hyperscalping? I'm using a 16 stop loss, 16 take profit with MIT take profit orders enabled, and our stop loss is an auto chase of 9 ticks with an offset of 6. What time frame is your chart? I'm on a 31 range chart, which is technically a 32 range chart. Questions. This person said, why did you decide to create the machine learning version if it seems to have been created more headaches for users? Thank you for your comment, Ken. Of course, remember that the machine learning model is in beta. This is a beta test. This is not a full release. Of course, there are going to be some issues during a beta. We've had a great deal of users successfully figure out how to use it, but some have a different system and sometimes it doesn't work, and we've been really working out to kink out those bugs. Of course, it is a process, but I think we're almost there. This new R5C, I think this should work for everyone. But in relation to why you would create the ML, because it would be more effective. Just because you are creating X amount of alpha per day doesn't mean you can't create a more consistent alpha throughout more market regimes. What I didn't like about my current system, or before the machine learning model was released, was that I had to continuously optimize the settings about once every month to keep up with the current market regime. But now I don't have to touch that at all. So this is what I created for me. It helps me in my trading, and I've passed it on to you guys. And I assume that why you're on this channel is that you want to emulate my style of trading, and that's just how it is. I don't mold my YouTube releases or my product releases to be really what is user requested or popular. It's what works for me, and because I'm successfully doing this, I think it's a valid statement. But I understand why you might be frustrated by the beta not immediately working like you may have expected. But it should definitely be a lot more stable going on out here. At least it should completely work now. But thank you for the question. Could we have the setting for ES when trading using machine learning? And also regarding the ATM strategy used for trading on NQ, does the market condition affect the ATM strategy we pick? ATM strategy currently does not have a, not totally sure what happened there. I looked away. I don't know if we got filled into a trading on, but whatever, next time. Did I get a loss there? I'm trying to figure that out. I don't think I got a loss. Anyway, guys, so setting for ES is just going to be the default settings. You're just going to optimize from there. NQ is a little bit differently. You do have to set up that horizontal tick compression there, and the horizontal imbalance calculations that are going with that. It looks like we do have a trend mode switch here. Of course, that's going to be because we've broken out of this range on this zone here. This is a very, very old zone there that's not going to be considered. But we just got a short fill here. I'm just going to be arming in both directions once we get into that trade. All right, there we go. That's going to be 12.10 on the day so far with that trend mode. Hey, Evan, there is no prepackaged model on the new R5C. Yes, that is intended. The moment we've seen that's the best way to initiate stability. We're seeing some mismatches, some very, very minor mismatches from people's machines, and we're trying to figure out a way so that we can make sure everyone is able to use the prepackaged models, and that's just not ready yet, but that will be in the stable release. There will be a prepackaged model for each instrument. Hello, what's machine learning is all about, and how does it looks like we got filled there again, guys. Sorry, I'm going to pause these Q&As for a little bit. The market's starting to pick up here. Pretty cool if we get a fill here. There we go. There's another win. We're going to be switching into regression mode here as we've reached a certain bottom here, and now we're getting some chop around this area. Of course, if we break this red automatically marked zone, we are going to be switching it back into trend. So machine learning, what it does is it automatically optimizes your parameters, which are your imbalance settings and whatnot, as well as adversary detection, to give you the best possible entries when considering for current market regime. So it creates a machine learning model based on prior data, and it continuously optimizes that model as you trade, and will adapt to your trading style. And it will try and cover up for some of your shortfalls. Everyone has weaknesses as a trader, so the model is designed to try and compensate for that. It's also going to improve general accuracy just by being more finely tuned for the current regime. Unfortunately, there's another loss for us there. Going to be switching it into trend mode after that loss. Now we're above this red zone. Of course, if we re-enter it, that'll be a little bit awkward, but we'll keep it in, or we'll move it to regression mode. If you train machine learning with NQ, will it script for ES? No, it will not. We have separate models that'll be stored in your PolarityATI resources folder. Those are going to be for each instrument, so don't worry about that. If you want to train your own model, but then go back to out-of-the-box Connor model, how do you do it? You'll just click on the Use Default Model button inside of the Polarity settings. Any reason to trade NQ versus ES? I personally enjoy the volatility of NQ. I find it more predictable. ES, when it enters a range, it can often get very, very little movement. Unless you're trading market open, ES can be somewhat slow, especially around this 8 a.m. PST time that I'm trading NQ. For market open, I do think ES is superior than NQ though. It's much more liquid and there's almost no spread. It's just a 1 point spread almost at all times. And it's very nice for trading market open. Machine learning does not adjust parameters like stacked imbalances at the moment, but that's something we can definitely integrate with quite easily if that's something you want. We'll probably have that to be selectable, that it will optimize stacked imbalances too. Hey Asgro, thank you so much for the feedback. You're right, I was mistaken. We don't have the adversary detection in optimization mode at this point, but that will be enabled in a future update. We just really wanted every user to be able to optimize their machine learning right out of the box. But thank you so much for reporting that. How many contracts are you trading? I'm trading 5 contracts of NQ right now. Looks like we got filled long here. Hopefully we could continue this nice uptrend here, at least up to this red line at the top there. I really hope my cursor's on. I don't think it is. I'll definitely have to keep that on. But when it's training and it's using indicators, how long must I leave indicators on a chart? It doesn't necessarily, it's not really how that works. It doesn't take a long amount of time to train. You're gonna open it and you're gonna click train the model and your screen's gonna freeze for a couple of seconds and then it's gonna complete the training based on the data you had. And then if you have incremental learning on, which is not enabled yet, but it will be enabled very soon, then you'd wanna keep those indicators on the chart if you wanna train with those. How many losses in a row before you stop for the day? Frankly, if I'm losing 6 in a row, back to back to back, and volatility is not how I'm looking, I'll stop. But generally, I actually go by a max loss. If my maximum loss is a $3,000 loss for the day, and then I'll stop trading. And then I have a much larger weekly max loss, but I have never hit my weekly max loss, actually. You're probably getting different fills in it because you're not using the same machine learning model. If that's what Official Rate Mindset asked. Hey Clayton, if yours is not optimizing parameters when using the machine learning, I'm sorry, that was not the question. I said you've noticed your mind may take wrong direction trades when using the machine learning quite often. It's likely that your machine learning is actually not working. In the previous updates we had, it wouldn't tell the user if there was no parameter optimization going on, so your parameters would be staying the same and machine learning would not be changing anything. And wouldn't be outputting an error, so you wouldn't even know that's happening. So I think that's what's happening for you. You shouldn't continuously be getting losses like that. Looks like we got filled there. Hey, how's it grow? I actually didn't know that override training is permanently enabled. I will definitely look into that, and the next release I will make sure that's not a factor. Hey Jabal, I'm not totally sure I understand your question, but I think that might be just because there's a little bit of a delay from when you guys see what happens on my screen just because of how YouTube streaming works. I think it's a couple of seconds. Hey Radamet, I see what you're asking there. If it's created by an older version of NuTrader, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. I'll make sure that is updated. Hey Templeton, I see what you're asking, and I'll look into that. Can the machine learning be optimized if I went through 1 month of playback? Yes, it can. We highly recommend going through playback data to optimize, but you can just load up the chart, and because if you have tick replay on, it's going to optimize without using playback at all. What are the red and green zones you have on your chart? Those are the automatically derived zones created by the Analytica Chart 4 Plus. How do we know if your machine learning is not learning? In the output window, it's going to show your parameters that are currently being optimized. And if they're staying the same as what they were initially, then your machine learning is unlikely to be working. Also, I'm so sorry, guys. I wasn't really paying a super lot of attention there, but we do have a regression zone here being formed. I was being a little bit too engrossed in answering some questions there, but we'll see if we get a breakdown right here. I may have completely missed that and switched preemptively, but so sorry about that. Hey Taj Livingston, thank you so much for reaching out to us about that. Appreciate the support. And I apologize about your machine ID. I will personally check that out after this stream. I'll make sure that your machine ID is put in. Sometimes we see users when they have a software update, just like a random Windows update, it can change their machine ID. I think it's based off of MAC address. I'm not totally sure though. We don't really know how NinjaTrader handles machine IDs, but I will definitely check that out for you. Looks like we have a trade loss there for 24.72. I'm going to create a note for that right now. How do you know when to use regression mode and trend mode? It's in the guidebook, but we explain exactly how to choose between regression and trend. But generally, you're going to see in these streams that I'm just picking ranges and sticking with those. So if it's inside of a range, you're going to be in regression mode, but if it's moving with a breakout style, you're going to put it in trend mode. Do you feel your system will work for a long term? Please explain. Yes, absolutely. We've been using this system for over 1.5 years now without any issue, but in the grand scheme of things, I know that is not a long amount of time. But I think with this machine learning optimization module, it's going to be pretty future-proof. It's going to be able to optimize based off of data that comes in, and we've seen in terms of backtesting, when we've backtested many different time periods based off of models from those times, it's been able to keep up with it, quite frankly, very, very easily. But yeah, generally, I don't think there will be any issues. Of course, there are no guarantees in the market. And I would be naive to say that it is going to guaranteed work forever. But I'm going to take what I can get, and I'm going to work as hard as possible as to make sure that my edge stays relevant. And I think the machine learning has cemented that. Hey Clayton, appreciate the follow-up on that one. Could you let me know what your RSME and R2 values are? Thank you. Appreciate it, Asger, for that feedback. He said that to confirm, R5C does indeed handle indicators properly for trading. Thank you. Thank you so much for the follow-up there. Much appreciated. I'm not totally sure what's going on with the with only some users saying that the current version, or that it was created with an older version of NinjaTrader. That's a little bit weird. I don't know if that's a common issue, but let me know if you guys are having that issue. Looks like we got filled here. We end up losing this trade. Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be a loss right off the bat there. Those RSME values and R2 values are not necessarily that good, so I would look into optimizing those with training to lower, or to get the RSME to a lower value and the R squared to as close to 1 as possible. Thank you, Kish, for that feedback that you're not having a version issue with NinjaTrader. As Gabley said, yes, you do have to remove the files in your PATI resources folder. Hey Smith, thank you for reporting that that it's not working correctly. Can you please explain more about what's going on, and if it's helpful to you, send an email ticket to our support system. We'll get back to you very shortly on that. I think it'll be more useful to you in that sense. But if you're able to send something over the Q&A, I might be able to help out. Tweak the strategy while running. My chart freezes. I have to close the chart and restart. I'm not totally sure how you're able to change the strategy while it's running. You should be able to. I think you have to unenable polarity in order to change any parameters. So I think that would be the best case of action. But if you're talking about the ATM strategy, you can't do that while it's in training mode, because if you do so, it's going to have to retrain all the data based off of your new ATM settings. So keep that in mind. What's the best time frame are you using for NQ, and have you tried volume or Renko chart? I'm using a 31 range chart. And I personally don't really do Renko charts. I think it's just an inferior range chart. What's the best live market data do you recommend? I recommend a combination of Kinetic and NinjaTrader Continuum. Those are both very, very great data providers. Connor, my NinjaTrader version import error is resolved. The name of the file was incorrect. Thank you so much for letting me know. Can you confirm whether or not you're saying the name of the file that we sent was incorrect, or it was a issue on your end? We want to make sure that all of our users are able to get that compatibility. So if it's an issue on our end, I'd love to fix it. So please let me know. Looks like we got filled short here. Almost got filled there. A little bit frustrating. Almost touched our take profit there, but it's what it is. Can you put up some educational videos on how it works? Yeah, absolutely. We can definitely do that. We're working on making sure the software is stable before we can do that, because things will change as the software evolves. So once we have a stable release where everything's pretty concrete and we have all the features in place, we'll be releasing a slew of educational videos. Hey Esther Chivikas, thank you so much. I'm not totally sure what you mean by your question. You wouldn't be able to just copy them like that, so that's not really possible to just get the exact same ones. But thank you for that. Hey Ken, please could you please submit a support ticket with or a bug report more specifically for that? Wow, that is super unfortunate that I think we're gonna lose this trade here. Um, that's a bummer, but it is what it is. It happens. Yes, 5C has been released. It's inside of the Dropbox that was sent out yesterday. We're going to be sending out an email, of course, to let people know about the new update, but just for an informal reminder, it's in there. Okay, thank you, Reddernet. I appreciate you following up about that. Thank you. He said that he downloaded it twice. The file name was appended, meaning that it showed a 1 at the end of it, meaning the file name was different than what we exported it as. So make sure that if you download it, you're importing the version that's correctly named. It should not have a duplicate file. So appreciate that for following up on that. Does it work better using a VPS? Absolutely. I think any strategy is going to work better using a VPS, any automated strategy specifically. This is going to get your, personally, you're able to get a very, very low latency with very commercially available trading VPSs. You can get it down to 4 ms even, 2 ms if you spend a little bit more. So I suggest that if you're able to afford it. It's definitely not necessary for everyone though. But you might be able to squeeze out a couple of extra ticks per trade. Hey, because we can definitely set up a Zoom call for one-on-one with Zach or Peter to get you set up for that. Will the VPS help your software run better? It's not going to increase the efficacy of the software itself, but you can get stronger results by using a VPS just because your latency is going to be lower, so you're going to be coming off of more current market data. What email do we use for support? Just email support@futuresanalytica.com if you need some help. Thanks. Is there a way to check my latency? Yeah, you're going to want to open up your command prompt and ping the exchange. I don't have that IP address on hand, but with a simple Google search, there are some forums where it'll show you what the exchange IP is. So you're actually going to want to do the IP for your broker. Sorry, not the exchange. Hey man, the birthday was great, awesome 22nd, and I'd love to hop on some games with you. Shoot me an email, love to play sometime. Sorry, question for the same thing. How do we know if the model is getting trained? If not, what are the remedies? Reinstall strategy, start again, or something else? So, by the way, that was a question. That wasn't part of my answer. So if you can know whether or not it's being trained by looking at the NinjaScript output window. It's going to show you what your new parameter optimization is. So if that's not changing at all, that means it's not getting trained. And that would assume that that's happening on R5B and below. On R5C, there really shouldn't be any issues if that's happening. It's going to give you an error if that's happening and with steps to fix it. But if it is, please let me know. That'd be concerning if R5C is giving that error, but it shouldn't be. So please update your software to R5C, and it should be going away now. Finally got filled here short. It'd be super nice if we could win this trade here. May not be in our favor though. There we go. Okay, awesome. There's a win. I'll take it. Person says, any Black Friday deals? Yeah, we're going to be running 25% off for Black Friday, but keep in mind that right now we're running a 20% off, not 25, but 20 on all of our packages right now using code ML20. And on the 20th of November, I know that's a lot of 20s, we are going to be increasing the price $100 across the board because that's going to be our stable release of machine learning. So although we will be running a Black Friday deal, it's actually going to be a little bit more expensive than our current offering, even though you'll be getting the same product. You'll just have to buy a little bit sooner. So just use code ML20 if you want to get the lowest price possible. But for Black Friday, we will be running a promotion, especially once machine learning is released. Hope you had a great birthday, said Clark. Thank you so much, Clark Edwards. Appreciate it. Wanted to share that I have had a lot of success with smoothing out NinjaTrader 8 latency by setting NTA to high priority and following some of the YouTube videos on optimizing the PC for NinjaTrader 8. What I thought was a data problem went away with these optimizations. Thank you, John Panzer. I really do appreciate you sharing that with me and with the rest of the community here. I'd love it if you could send me an email with those steps so I could share that with the rest of the customer base. I think that would be very, very helpful. I could do some research on it after this, but you know, if what's worked for you, I want to make sure that a lot of our customers are doing the same thing. So appreciate that, John. Are you using the default Connor model? No, I'm not. UC owner says, is there a way to have the machine learning consider my levels, which is high levels of liquidity sitting or forming on my bookmap ran in the NinjaTrader platform? So if you have a way to package that bookmap data and put it into NinjaTrader for an interface, you can do that with Python actually. We've had a couple of users do that to create a custom indicator. You can definitely do that. But we don't have an option to directly integrate that, but that is a great option. Bookmap is a great software. And I think that'd be really cool if we could get that to hook directly into Bookmap. Hey Jay Bennett, make sure you're subscribed to the email list. We're not allowed to email you unless you are, so make sure that is checked. So you'll need to purchase ML once it's out of beta, said Chase Proven. No, that's not true. So machine learning is always going to be free for current owners of Polarity. It's a free update. I'm just saying that the price of Polarity is going to increase once we have the stable release. But no, we're not going to be charging you anything extra for machine learning. Yes, machine learning is in all three of the stages, but it's in beta right now. So you get the beta package and you get the stable release, which doesn't have machine learning. So you get two versions. If you want the stable release, you can just put that in there, but you also get access to the beta, which has machine learning. Of course, we don't have 100% stability yet, so keep that in mind with the beta version, but you do get access to it with all three of the packages. Entropy is still pretty high here. Just got filled long here, very interestingly. Keeping us within that range is going to confirm that. But if we lose this trade, which we didn't, we would be switching it into trend mode. It's a pretty slow-paced day, but we're getting through it. So happy about that at least. Got filled short here. Awesome. Another win for the day, up to 3,800. Thank you for that affirmation, CK Edwards. Appreciate that. I am trying to get to all these questions, but in this form, there are over 1,500 questions total. So it's quite difficult to get to all of them. So I apologize if not everyone's getting their question answered. Really trying that. Okay, it looks like we're breaking out of this range here, I think. Yeah, that was a very, very fast movement there. So we're going to be switching it into trend mode at this point. Got filled short there. Wow, that was a very, very close fill. Didn't happen though. And then we got stopped out. Matthias, yeah, there is. Shoot me an email and I'll get you that discount. Appreciate your continued support. And now we're right back into a regression zone. So it looks like I totally got faked out there, unfortunately. It happens. Hey Barry, just shoot us an email and we'll get you set up on that. There we go. There's a win bringing us up to 3,900. So one step back, 2 steps forward there. So happy we won that trade. Lettering says, how do you have a minute-by-minute footprint chart with a range of 31? I actually don't. This is not a minute-by-minute chart. You can see here on the times, like for example, 8:30, 8:30, then 8:31, then 8:33. It's not a minute-by-minute chart. It's just so happened that a couple of the previous bars have ended up being minute-by-minute. So this is just a normal range chart. But anyway, guys, I think we're actually going to call it here. I think 4,000 on the day is a great place to stop. Especially with that weird little fake out that happened there. Sometimes it's just great to cut what you've won and take your winnings home. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. But guys, thank you so much for tuning into the stream today. And make sure you download that new Polarity update if you want to get those bug fixes. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in again. Thanks so much and have